Time now for At the Market from Neiman's Family Market in St. Clair. At the Market is brought to you by CTV Community TV of Marine City in St. Clair, Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank, St. John's River District Hospital, and the Coast Guard Cutter Bramble, where tours are now available. Now let's join our host for this week's At the Market. Well, welcome to another edition of At the Market. My name's Paul Dingeman. Today we've got sort of a special show for you. We're going to go back in the vault and pull out one of the shows that the crew here loved the best, and we're going to preview that. Then we're going to have our community guest, Mary Taylor, from a wonderful thing called Main Street Memories. So that's what's going to happen on today's At the Market. Well, we're welcome back. We've taken a vote here of the crew. Our scheduled guest, which was Alexander's Banquet Center in Marysville, was supposed to be our guest today. But as you may know, they have moved from once the north side or the south side of Gratiot Avenue back to the north side of it in their old original building. And so Kristen Fisher called and said, please, I'm trying to move. Can you bump us for today? So we did. We gave her that permission. And we took a vote of the crew, and what the crew wanted to see was Martha Collins and her chef from the River Crab, and the gazpacho. So let's watch that, and then we'll be back with Mary Taylor.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Neiman's at the Market. My name is Martha Collins. I'm the general manager at the River Crab Restaurant in St. Clair. And today I have with me my chef, Scott Schneider. Yay, Chef Scott Schneider. And we are going to go through and make gazpacho, one of our signature cool, cold summer soups for us. So we're looking forward to you, and we will be right back.
Challenge the clock. Challenge trends. Challenge gravity. Challenge expectations. Challenge world records. Challenge the culture and the future. Challenge banking. We challenge ourselves to be curious about ideas that make banking better. We're Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank.
Okay, and welcome back, everyone. And today, as I said, we have Chef Scott Schneider from the River Crab, and we are going to make one of our summer signature soups, which is our homemade gazpacho. So Chef Scott, we'll start off with, we do fresh cucumbers, and we just, for the sake of time, we did cut it, but we do cut all our, hand cut all of our ingredients. So for this batch, we do 6 of your fresh cucumbers peeled and diced into 1/4 inch cubes.
Forgot the gloves.
Oh, wait a minute, that's what we like, always safety first. Thank you, Scott. And then after we do the cucumbers peeled, we go ahead and do our green bell peppers, also cut into 1/4 inch cubes, and we do 1.5 pounds of that. Then we do 2.5 pounds of our Spanish onions, also chopped to 1.25 cube. Then we do 2 ounces of our fresh garlic puree. Then we do 2 ounces.
I'll do these 2 last.
Okay, and so then we add in tomato juice.
That'd be a mess.
That'd be a mess.
It's 46 ounce.
And that's
can.
a 46 ounce can of tomato juice. Then we take Italian dressing.
Wishbone.
And it has to be, if you want yours to taste just like ours, you have to use wishbone Italian dressing. Doing any other type of dressing will change the whole flavor of the gazpacho. Then once you get that, then you take your whole tomatoes, canned whole tomatoes, and you use gloved hands and you squish the tomatoes into like almost like a fine puree mash. And because you still want the
you get small
gazpacho.
pieces.
you want still to have chunks, pieces into it to make that. So while Scott's
Probably half
going,
inch.
yeah, about half inch. So while Scott's going ahead, Chef Scott's going ahead there and smashing with tomatoes, we would like to invite all of you out to join us on our Wednesday nights for our live entertainment out on the deck. It's every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The next couple weeks we do our featuring the Sun Messengers. We have a special 4th of July news with the Bugs Beto. And then later on in July we have our own homegrown Dave Lenarski and the Rivertown Gents. Yay for Dave Lenarski and the Rivertown Gents. And we do ask that you do try to make reservations for that because seating is limited. We have a full menu as well as bar available for you at that time. Also, we're still doing our Huron Lady Cruises. You do board up in Port Huron at Desmond Landing. They will start every Monday and Tuesday at the first week of July, running all the way through August, doing Mondays and Tuesdays. And then in September, we go back to one a week on Mondays. But just call the River Crab at 810-329-2261, and there we'll be able to book your reservations for you and mail you out your tickets. So how are we doing on all that squishing and mushing
Almost
there,
there.
Scott? Almost
Just got
there.
the last couple on the bottom I
Yep.
missed.
But it is really important that you don't want to put this in a food processor or anything because then it purees it too much and you almost want it to be like a chunky salsa. And I often said that if you do drain a little of the tomato sauce off of this gazpacho is probably the best salsa you'll ever eat in your life. I always, when I bring some of this home, I drain off a little bit of the tomato juice and then come up here at Neiman's and grab some of their blue corn chips and use it as a salsa dip. And it's just wonderful, especially to entertain friends and family for the summer.
Put cilantro in it.
And put a little cilantro in it, and there you go. So we're going to take that, and we're going to pour in now the squished tomatoes, and go a little slow, otherwise you'll be wearing squished tomatoes on yourself. And then what we do is we take a whisk to incorporate them all together.
Okay.
You wanna put the
Didn't
salt
think that
pepper?
through very well.
Yep. And then once you get that going, and seriously, it's just a smooth marrying of all of the onion and the green pepper and the cucumber with the tomato. And then once you get it nice and incorporated together, then you add your fresh parsley, which we use Italian parsley, which is available here at Neiman's. And then we add our black pepper, which is a table grind, as you don't want, to put
Kosher
too up
salt,
limon.
too. Kosher salt here, too.
And a little kosher salt. And really be careful with that kosher salt because if you put too much salt in this, the fresh vegetables really seem to absorb it and hold it. So once we get this mixed up, we have, and it's a little bit difficult when you're doing little servings here, but what we do is we serve them. Soup portion is 6 ounces at work, but
8.
for here, 8 ounces, excuse me. But we're gonna have samples here, 4-ounce samples here, and we put a dollop of sour cream and croutons in it. And that is our summer feature of the chilled gazpacho, which is once again, a chilled vegetable garden soup that originated in Spain. So,
That's it.
that's it. Best soup you'll have all summer long. Thank you, and we're back to you.
Sometimes asking for help is the hardest thing you can do, but it is the most important step toward recovery. St. Clair County Community Mental Health provides publicly funded mental health services for adults and children with mental illnesses, developmental disabilities, substance use disorders, or serious emotional disturbances. Call the Access Line toll-free at 888-225-4447, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. St. Clair County Community Mental Health, promoting opportunities for discovery and recovery.
The retired United States Coast Guard cutter Bramble is now open for tours 7 days a week. Docked at the Port Huron Seaway Terminal Bean Dock, the U.S. Coast Guard Bramble has tours daily from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. General admission gives you basic access to the ship, $8 for adults, $6 for seniors and under 18. The Commandant's Gold Pass gives you a historical, full access guided tour, $12 for adults, $10 for seniors and under 18. Don't miss the Brambles special Memorial Day Remembrance coming up the end of May. Come tour the White Portuguese as seen in the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice movie, delivering the kryptonite.
And welcome back. Today we are with Denise Martin and Chris Tremblay from St. John's River District Hospital, and they are going to go ahead and walk us through making delicious fish tacos. Yum. And we'll be right back in one moment to start the cooking procedure.
At St. John Providence, we believe it's important to have things you can depend on, like knowing you and your family have access to high-quality care whenever you need it. That's why our nearly 1,000 primary care doctors offer same-day appointments, and why so many of them are available nights and weekends, which means that no matter where you are in Southeast Michigan, you're never far from care that focuses on the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. St. John Providence. Believe in better.
Well, that gazpacho really did the job. It hit the spot for everybody. We're glad that Martha was able to repeat that. She doesn't know she did, but we'll tell her about it later. Joining us now, Mary Taylor, Council on Aging. Nice to see you.
Hi, Paul.
Welcome to the At the Market set.
Glad to be here.
You've got a special coming up, and it's a project called Main Street Memories.
Correct.
What is it all about?
It's a car show. The show that used to happen in downtown Port Huron in the 80s and 90s is coming back.
Okay. I'm confused. There was a car show or a ride that started in downtown Port Huron and went all the way up to the north end. Mm-hmm. Then it sort of dissolved, I think.
Cruise night kind of took a shift and moved further north.
Right. And Fort Gratiot had one earlier this year.
Right.
At the north end, and you guys were there, you said.
We were passing out our flyers and inviting all of them to come to our show.
So yours is not a driving show.
Nope.
Yours is a parking show. I can get out and walk around.
Correct.
Oh, great idea.
Yep, we're going to take over Main Street in Port Huron from Quay Street to Glenwood.
All the way to Glenwood?
All the way to Glenwood. We're hoping for over 300 cars to be there that day.
Wow. Are you going to park them?
They're going to angle park all the way down the road.
On both sides of the street?
On both sides of the street, and they've got some of the roads are shut off for us so that the pedestrians can just keep walking through and check out all the beautiful vehicles that are coming in. We've got some special displays. The Model A assembly team is coming in, and they're going to be, they come in their cars, they stop their cars, they dismantle their cars.
No.
And then they put them back together again.
A Model A?
A Model A.
Oh my God.
And they're going to do that 3 times during the afternoon.
And where will they physically be?
They'll be down near McMorran.
Okay.
And then also down near McMorran, we'll have a special display from Preferred Towing. In honor of Jason, they're going to have the flag up, and they'll have the Slow Down, Move Over campaign for Michigan. They're going to have that display set up as well.
Very important. What a tragedy that was.
That was.
And what a great response from people to support him and his family.
Yep. So there'll be some other kind of neat. We've got some race cars coming in, compliments of our overall sponsor for the event, and which is Auto Value Parts Stores.
Okay.
They're bringing in a couple race cars that will also be set up there near McMorran. There's going to be a lot to see and do. We tried to make this a family event, and we want people to come in and see what Port Huron has to offer, what's in our community. So for the Council on Aging's point of view, we're having 2 of our vehicles running that day, and one will, everybody who comes in and registers will get a wristband. Everybody that's in a car that's taking part in the show, and they can come back to the Port Huron Senior Center and get on one of our buses, and we will take them over to Vantage Point. So they can watch the boats, they can go through the farmers market, and then they can go down the walk and take the nature walk and go down to the Bramble and walk through that if they choose, and our bus will take them down through that loop and keep running that loop all afternoon. And then the other bus will head to the north end, and we'll stop at the Huron Lightship, at the Edison Depot, and take them up to the lighthouse.
Busy. And this is the same day of the St. Clair River
Yep.
Classic,
This
which
is
is
a
fine.
busy time in this
so
area.
if you're not into boat racing,
Then come on
there's
up and be with the cars.
whole great lineup of activities in
Right.
Port Huron.
Yep.
So I don't have to register. I just have to show up. There's no cost.
Well, there is a $15 entry fee that
Yeah,
day.
for a car.
For the cars.
But not for the
anybody
public.
wanting to come see it, it's free.
Okay.
So we really want to promote our community, and we want these people who are coming in, and we have people coming from all over the state and from Canada coming over for the show. So we're really anticipating great weather. We're crossing our fingers, and then having just a boatload of people downtown to see what's down there.
Is
and
there
taking part.
a competition among the 300 cars to see who's the best? Are you going to give a trophy or something?
No, we actually are promoting this as not a competition.
Oh, really?
It's a
Okay.
community.
Okay.
And
So just come and enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourselves. There will be a couple honors given. We've asked the mayor to pick out her favorite.
Right.
There'll be a trophy for that. And the show chairperson, Ron Stewart, is probably going to pick out his. But other than that, that's not a competitive thing. That's just what they like will be what gets it.
Okay.
The rest of it, though, is we've got raffles going on during the day. There'll be 50/50s, and then we have a Dale Earnhardt quilt that the Council on
Oh,
Aging
my
is
God.
raffling off. So we'll be selling tickets around through the whole show for that. We're doing a special thing at the Senior Center, and we're going to be taking orders from the people in the show for gourmet topped hot dogs.
Gourmet topped
Yep,
hot
you
dog.
can order a Chicago dog, you could get a New York dog, you could just get a Coney dog, or a plain, whatever you like. We've got a whole menu that's in the goodie bags that all the participants are going to get when they pull in. We've got a couple hundred of those made up for the cars coming in.
Oh my God. Well, you guys have really planned this.
We've been trying. The committee has been great. We started last fall. Somebody on our fundraising committee at the Council on Aging said, what can we bring back, the car show? And I looked around the
That's a
table
great
and said,
idea.
anybody know how?
Yeah.
And they went, no. So we went over to Main Street, talked with Christy Hazard, and she had some interest from the guys who used to do the show in Port Huron. She put us all at the table. This is the result. We've been meeting for months now, and now we're meeting weekly till we get down here to the wire for the July 30th show.
Well, it's a great idea, and people just love cars. There was a very successful car show here in St. Clair a week or two ago, and probably a lot of those cars will be at your show too.
We hope
but
they come.
There's just a fascination with automobiles.
They've made quite a progression in less than 100 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they really have. And to see from the Model A's to those race cars that are going to be sitting across the street from each other, it's a big difference.
I think the Model A demonstration, I've not heard of that before. That's got to be very unique. And how quickly does it take them?
Just minute, and my understanding is within 20 minutes they will have it all back together again. Shows
know
how
whether Henry
simple the
Ford-
machines used to be.
I don't know. I was going to say, I wonder if Henry Ford put them together that quickly. Maybe he did when they were coming down the line, but
Maybe, but yeah.
Model A's were, I don't think, on an assembly line. So.
No, not at that point yet.
What else is happening at the Council of Aging?
Oh, we have so much going on at all 4 of the senior centers right now. While we're doing this on the 30th, I've got the Yale Center is totally engulfed in the Bologna Festival out
Yep.
in Yale. So
Yep.
that's going on as to that weekend. The new senior center in K-Pac is just taking
beautiful.
off. They just keep adding more and more classes and activities. And Washington Life Center in Marine City is always busy.
Yeah.
And then we have the Port Huron Center as well. We've been doing an event with emergency management and their youth advisory. They put together a game that they played with 5th graders this past school year that culminated in the 5th grade champion being named up at Birchwood Mall. They had them compete off kind of a Jeopardy style game, but they were all preparedness questions. Could you survive if whatever happened, a flood or electrical or everything else went out? We're doing a senior version of that.
Wow.
And we started and did it in Yale. We've done it in Port Huron. And this week they're doing it out. This week is Washington Life Center, and we're doing one in K-Pac. And Jeff Friedland hopes to have the championship round at the Birchwood Mall for them
beautiful.
too.
Good.
So we're kind of waiting to see how he does this, because I think he's ultimately going for, are we smarter than a 5th grader, and having them on there against
That'll
us.
be tough.
So that will be really tough.
Really tough.
Yep.
Well, we want to remind everybody it's Sunday.
Nope, Saturday.
Saturday the 30th. Oh, that's right. Sunday is the races here.
Right, Sunday's the race here.
No, not a conflict then.
No.
Saturday the 20th, and it's from 10 a.m.
From Saturday, July 30th, from 10 to 4. Registration for vehicles starts at 8:30 that morning behind the Port Huron Senior Center.
So you don't have to register a couple weeks ahead.
Nope. You
just
come on,
gotta-
pull on through, and we've got a whole system set to get you not even having to leave your car till you go get it parked.
Beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
our hope.
Mary, thanks for all you're doing for the seniors and
Thanks, Paul, for
at
having me.
the Senior Center. Council on Aging does wonderful, wonderful things. And how many thousands of people do they help every year? It's amazing.
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Hundreds. Yes.
Well, that's one of the things that's going on in beautiful St. Clair County. And this has been a special edition of At the Market. Mary Taylor along from Council on Aging talking about the car show. And the previous part of it was a reprieve of the At the Market with Martha Collins and the River Crabs. Till next week when Camille's by the Bay, the restaurant, I can't remember the whole name. The screaming over there helps me. Good sound. In any event, we'll be back next Monday. See you then. You've been watching At the Market from Neiman's Family Market in St. Clair. At the Market is brought to you by CTV Community TV of Marine City and St. Clair. Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank. St. John's River District Hospital. And the Coast Guard Cutter Bramble, where tours are now available. Join us again soon for another At the Market.